same year America promised enslaved black people freedom but failed is the same year Smithville, Georgia was established. 1863. A once active small town now cradles local history through its often vacant rural churches, a Civil War historical marker, and the community's annual Chicken Pie Festival. It's also a generational home for Black Belt region farmer and Army veteran Dontavius Jones.
I was born and raised in Smithville. I farm in Smithville, Georgia. The reason I wanted to farm because I come from a family of farming. My granddad, my great-granddad also farmed, and I wanted to continue their legacy. Nobody in the family was farming. I was the only youngest grandson that wanted to farm, so that's what caught my interest, and it's been great so far.
Jones's newest mission is back on the home front, rejuvenating and repurposing a 150-acre or more pine tree farm, a remote tract of land left behind by his late grandfather, Homer Lee Smothers, and a place where racial injustice, ownership issues, and clocking in man hours, despite the social stressors, were the norm. He scouts sections to grow new crops and cleans out the 1-acre man-made pond his grandfather dug out for months during the 1980s.
Things that I learned from the military that I brought back into farming was just sometimes being in the field. We would have to stay out there 2 weeks at a time, and you basically have to learn life skills and wilderness skills, putting up tents. Sometimes you have to heat up your own food. So that alone helped me come back and really adapt to farming, just being outside. So it was easy for me to just catch on. The benefits of farming as a young farmer myself is just, you can see you have so much freedom to do a lot. You don't have a lot of people watching you. You get to fish, you get to come out here and hunt, and just being able to have over 200 acres, a lot of people can't say that, and that's beneficial.
Jones takes his agricultural assignment personal. See, his grandfather's difficulty with sustaining the land was actually a systematic problem, resulting in the largest civil rights settlement in American history, Pickford versus Glickman. Smothers joined thousands of black farmers to fight discrimination from the U.S. Department of Agriculture and won the 1999 case. $50,000 payments were issued, allowing Smothers and some others to pass down family land to the next generations. But Smothers' 21st century grandson has since experienced his own set of land challenges.
As a young farmer first getting into farming, a lot of the issues I come across is just having the funds and equipment to farm this amount of big acreage. A lot of people don't know, when you first get into this, yeah, it sounds great, you want to get into farming, but things like diesel, like I said, equipment, you got to have resources for those things, and it's not cheap at all. So I've came across those issues a lot, and that's why me and myself and Said and a lot of the other young farmers in the area, we started our own chapter, the Young Farmers Chapter in South Georgia. So just by being a part of that chapter, that's going to open up more resources for us, for young farmers, and I think that's going to be great.
For farming guidance, Jones leans on his best friend and land buddy Cedric Rowe for advice. An organic farmer and soil conservationist for the U.S. Department of Agriculture, Rowe travels a mere 20 miles to help Jones develop new approaches to sustaining the property. Jones attributes Rowe to helping him reimagine the pine tree operation, more fishing, hunting, and agritourism possibilities in the future. For the moment, the farmland primarily serves as a refuge for Jones to brave his post-traumatic stress disorder.
My PTSD, like I said, I deal with a lot of anxiety, sometimes depression, and a lot can get wrapped up in my mind. And just being out here in the country, I'm at peace. Because like I said, nobody can mess with me. I'm loving what I'm doing, and it's just a wonderful feeling. And also, it's kind of difficult. Like I said, being in the military is just running and doing all kind of crazy stuff. Eventually had wear and tear on my body, so I had to have knee surgery. And it's been difficult, but I pushed through it. So just getting in and out of that tractor, as you can tell already, it's been hard. But I'm going to physical therapy and just being out here, doing what I gotta do, not making excuses. I make it happen.
To relieve his pain, Jones usually surveys the property line from his dune buggy. To cope with the stress, he gardens. He spends the fall months preparing the soil. Broccoli, turnips, cabbages, and collards top his to-grow list.
I decided to grow more collards. Collards are a big thing down here in South Georgia. So I'm focusing more on collards, turnips, cabbage, of course. And the reason I decided to just grow that because it's a big market for it, and a lot of my folks, a lot of my grandparents and a lot of her friends, they enjoy eating them, so why not?
Some days, it's bass and brim fishing at the pond with cousins. Other days, it's appreciating the stillness of the land. Surrounded by Smithville timber and country living, Jones wants nothing more than to preserve his grandfather's name, his family heritage. That's what he returned home for.